Hello and welcome to Korean in 5, where we take 5 minutes out of your extremely busy day and we try to learn some Korean. Today might go a little bit longer. I think I might have to change the name of the show to Korean in 5 to 10 minutes because we start talking about bigger concepts and we need a little bit more time. All right, here we go. Today's topic is a part 2 of what we did on one of our prior episodes. We talked about making simple sentences, but in those sentences you might have noticed that we only used positive. So for example, we were using this word here, ida. And ida means is, am, or are, depending on what we need for the English. Remember, it's the English that has multiple versions. Korean just has ida. One thing covers it all. And he, she, I, you, it's all covered in there automatically. The pronouns are automatically assigned. Even though you can use pronouns in Korean, they're not exactly required. For example, I could say, 조지입니다. I am George. The word I was not necessary. I did not need to say 저는 조지입니다. Okay? So let's look at the negative version of ida, and it is anida. Anida. To not be. This means isn't, am not, and aren't. And just like we had with ida, there is a formal, polite way which is used in more like news broadcasts, or when you're talking in front of a bunch of people or you're not one-on-one with somebody, you can say 아닙니다. 아닙니다. Okay? Or the more casual, talking to your friends but still polite, 아니에요. 아니에요. All right, so let's learn some new words to make sentences with. Let's learn apple, which is 사과. 사과. And we'll use, now notice there's no 받침 here. If you remember what that 받침 is, that's why I chose this word. Even though there are two vowels, there is no 받침. There's no final consonant here. But on this next one, 귤. 귤. 귤, we have 아리을. So we are ending with an R or an L sound, which is a 받침, and that will change how we use 아닙니다 or 아니다. All right, so for example, let's ask a simple question. Already should know how to do this. 사과예요? 사과예요? Is it an apple? And of course, like we learned on the last broadcast, you can say, 네, 사과예요. Yes, it's an apple. Very simple. But what if it isn't? You know, you're gonna have to learn a different way to do it. That's what we're trying to do today. But what if it isn't an apple and you just want to say what it is? You can already do that with what we learned before. You can say 아니요, 귤이에요. No, it's not an apple. It's a tangerine. Okay? Now, when you're using anida to say it's not something, there's a special rule, and that is that you're going to have to use this I or ga particle. Just like we learned with and 는, it depends on whether you have a 받침 or not if you use I or ga. If you have a 받침 or final consonant, you're going to use I, and if you do not have a 받침, you're going to use ga. And you must always have I or ga when you're using anida, and never, ever have it when you're using ida. Okay? So let's look at how we would do it. If we're going to say it's not an apple, 사과가 아닙니다. 사과가 아닙니다. It's not an apple. You have to have the ga. You cannot say 사과이 아닙니다 because there's no 받침 here. Okay? Or we don't have to say this sort of formal one. We can go back to the more polite sounding, friendly one. You can say 사과가 아니에요. It's not an apple. 사과가 아니에요. All right? What if we use 귤? 귤 has a 받침. Well, what we learned in our prior broadcast is you could say 귤이에요. Is it a tangerine? And if it's not a tangerine, you have to say 귤이 아닙니다. It's not a tangerine. 귤이 아닙니다. Or of course we can go with our more polite, friendly one, and we could say 귤이 아니에요. Now let's look at making questions with anida. All right, so just like with our last one, we had a special version, and that's what we're going to talk about. But first, let's look at the way we could ask a negative question, and that's 사과가 아니에요? Isn't it an apple? Let's say someone says this is a tangerine. Well, what if you look at it and you go, wait a minute, isn't that an apple? That's when you would use this kind of a sentence. You would say, 사과가 아니에요? Isn't it an apple? That's one way to do it. Or you can do this special version, just like ida had 입니까? Well, anida has 아닙니까. Oops, wait, that's this one. Sorry, that's 입니까 is the positive one. Let's look at the negative one now. So it's 아닙니까. So 아닙니까, isn't it a? Okay, for example, what if this question was asked? 이것은, or what if your friend said, sorry, what if your friend said, 이것은 펜이에요. This is a pen. And you're like, wait a minute, isn't that a pencil? If you think it's a pencil, you could say, 연필이 아닙니까? 연필이 아닙니까? Isn't it a pencil? Or we could do this version. 연필이 아니에요? 연필이 아니에요? Isn't it a pencil? Okay, now how do you answer these questions? This is a little bit tricky in Korean. In English, when we answer a negative question, we just answer yes or no regardless of if it was negative. We assume it was positive. For example, if you say, oh what, hey, didn't you eat? If we say, didn't you eat, and we didn't eat, we would say no. That's a double negative. You're not supposed to do that, but we do it all the time. If you said, if you did eat and someone said to you, didn't you eat? In English, we would say, yeah. But that doesn't work because really you're agreeing with a negative statement, and that's what you have to do in Korean. You have to agree or disagree with the statement, and they cannot do double negatives like English. It's a little bit tricky at first, but just remember, you either agree with what they said or you don't agree with what they said. So let's look at that sentence where we're asking, isn't it an apple? 사과가 아니에요? Isn't it an apple? If you answer yes, well, you agree that it's not an apple. You're saying yes to it's not an apple. 사과가 아니에요? 네 means yeah, you're right. It's not an apple. Okay? Let's ask that question again. 사과가 아니에요? Isn't that an apple? 아니요? 아니요? That means no. It is an apple. I disagree with your negative statement. You said it isn't an apple. No, that's not true. It is an apple. Now you can make this a little bit more clear and you can just restate what you're thinking in your mind. So if someone says to you, 사과가 아니에요? Isn't it an apple? You could say, 네, 사과가 아니에요. Or you could just say, 사과가 아니에요. It's not an apple. But here, notice it's yes, it's not an apple. And the same thing with this other one. That was the answer, sorry. That was the answer. It's not an apple. Or you can say, 아니요, 사과예요. All right, there's your answer. If you'd like to learn more Korean, you can learn it completely free on KoreanFromZero.com. Our entire Course 1 is completely free to anybody, no registration required. You can listen to male sound and even female sound for every sound on the website. And if you'd like to get our book, it's available on Amazon.com or for free shipping anywhere in the world on BookDepository.com. And you can download it 100% for free also on KoreanFromZero.com. I'll see you all in the next Korean in 5. Bye-bye.